I'm 83 years old, and I need to tell you something that might make you uncomfortable. For 50 years of my life, I believed that success would make me happy. I believed that if I just worked harder, earned more, built bigger, I would finally feel complete. I was wrong about everything. I built a company worth $200 million. I had the corner office. I had the respect of everyone in my industry. I had my name on buildings. And I lost my daughter. Not to death. Something worse. She's alive. She's healthy. She has a family of her own now. But she wants nothing to do with me. And it's my fault. What I'm about to share with you isn't easy to say. It's not pretty. It's not the kind of story that makes you feel good about hard work and determination. But it's the truth. And if you're anything like I was, driven, ambitious, always chasing the next goal, you need to hear this before it's too late. I spent 52 years climbing a ladder, and when I finally reached the top, I looked around and realized it was leaning against the wrong wall. The wall was called success. It should have been called family. Something happened 3 years ago that changed everything I thought I knew. It broke me in ways I didn't think were possible at 80 years old. And now, with whatever time I have left, I'm trying to warn people like you. Because the life you're building, it might look impressive from the outside, but it might be hollow on the inside, just like mine was. 3 years ago, I received an invitation in the mail. It was cream-colored, elegant, the kind of envelope that feels expensive before you even open it. I remember thinking it was probably some charity gala or business award ceremony. I opened it, and my hands started shaking. It was a wedding invitation, my daughter Sarah's wedding invitation, but something was wrong. I read it 3 times before I understood. The ceremony was scheduled for June 15th. The invitation was dated June 12th. She had sent it 3 days before the wedding. 3 days. Just enough time to technically say she invited me. Not enough time to actually attend. I called her immediately. My fingers were trembling so badly I could barely dial the number. She answered on the 4th ring. Hello? Sarah, I got your invitation. I know, Dad. There was silence, the kind of silence that says everything. You sent it 3 days before, I said. I can't possibly. I know. More silence. Sarah, I'm your father. I should walk you down the aisle. You should have been there, Dad. Her voice was calm, not angry, just empty. You should have been at my school plays, my graduations, my first heartbreak, my college move-in day. You should have been there when I needed you. I tried to speak, but nothing came out. I sent the invitation because I wanted you to know I was getting married. I didn't send it in time because I didn't want you there. And then she said the words that destroyed me. You were never there for me, Dad. Why should I be there for you now? She hung up. I stood in my kitchen, my expensive kitchen in my expensive house, holding that cream-colored envelope, and I felt something crack inside my chest. At first I thought I was having a heart attack. I actually called 911. Paramedics came, they ran tests. My heart was fine. Physically, anyway. But something had broken, something that couldn't be fixed with surgery or medication. I was 80 years old. I had built an empire. I had more money than I could spend in 10 lifetimes. And my daughter, my only child, didn't want me at her wedding. That night I sat alone in my living room. The house was silent. No wife. She had left me 20 years earlier. No children around. Sarah was the only one, and she was gone too. Just me. And my success. And I asked myself a question I had never asked before. What was it all for? I started working at 24, fresh out of business school, hungry, determined. I had a plan. Work hard in my 20s to establish myself. Build wealth in my 30s. Expand in my 40s. Then enjoy life in my 50s with my family, comfortable and secure. That was the plan. But the plan kept changing. When I was 32, Sarah was born. I held her in my arms in that hospital room. And I felt something I had never felt before. Pure love, pure joy. I promised myself I would be there for her. Then I got promoted. Big opportunity. More money, more responsibility, more hours. I thought, when I finish this project, then I'll spend more time with her. So I waited. When Sarah was 5, she had her first dance recital. Little pink tutu, nervous smile. My wife told me about it weeks in advance. But I had a client meeting, an important one, the kind that could make or break the quarter. I thought, There will be other recitals. When things calm down, I'll make the next one. So I waited. When Sarah was 10, she asked me to coach her soccer team. Her eyes were so hopeful. She said, "All my friends' dads do it." I said, "Maybe next season, sweetheart. Daddy's very busy right now." I thought, when I hit this revenue target, I'll have more flexibility. So I waited, again. When Sarah was 15, she stopped asking. I didn't notice. I was too busy closing deals, expanding into new markets, proving to everyone that I was successful. I was on magazine covers. I was giving speeches at conferences. I was building something that would last, or so I thought. When Sarah was 18, she left for college. I missed move-in day, important meeting. When she was 22, she graduated. I missed that too, investor conference in Tokyo. When she was 25, she got engaged. She called to tell me. I was in a meeting. I called her back 3 days later. When she was 28, she got married, without me. I kept waiting for the right time, the right moment, the time when things would calm down and I could finally be the father I always meant to be. That time never came. Because there is no right time, there's only now, and I missed 50 years of now. I had the corner office. I had the company. I had the respect. But I didn't have my daughter. I didn't have my wife. I didn't have anyone. I looked in the mirror one morning about a month after that wedding invitation arrived, and I didn't recognize the person staring back at me. He was old. He was tired. He was alone. And he had wasted his entire life. Let me tell you the biggest lie you're probably telling yourself right now. I have time. I'll do it later. When I'm more established, I'll slow down. When the kids are older, I'll be more present. When I hit this number, I'll finally relax. Let me save you 50 years of regret with one simple truth. That day never comes. The goalposts keep moving. There's always another deal, another opportunity, another reason to wait. And while you're waiting, life is happening without you. Your kids are growing up without you. Your spouse is becoming a stranger. Your parents are getting older. And one day, you'll look up from your desk and realize everyone you love has stopped waiting for you. Here's something nobody tells you when you're young. Success is a terrible goal. And I say this as someone who achieved everything I set out to achieve. I built a company from nothing. I created jobs for thousands of people. I made more money than my parents could have imagined. And you know what? None of it mattered. Not when I was standing alone at my 80th birthday. Not when I was eating Thanksgiving dinner by myself. Not when I realized my daughter had a whole life, a husband, a home, maybe children, that I knew nothing about. None of it mattered. I had a partner once. His name was Richard. We built the company together, 50-50. Same ambition, same drive, same belief that success would bring happiness. Richard worked even harder than I did. He was the first one in and the last one out. He missed everything, his kids' childhoods, his marriage, his health. He died at 67, heart attack at his desk. At his funeral, his son gave the eulogy. He said, "My father was a successful man, but I barely knew him. I wish I had more memories of him than just the back of his head as he left for work." I sat in that church and thought, thank God that's not me. But it was me. I just didn't die. Which might be worse, actually, because I have to live with the consequences. Is that the legacy you want? A eulogy that says he was very successful, but nobody really knew him? Because that's where you're headed. If you keep telling yourself you have time, if you keep waiting for the right moment, if you keep choosing work over love, don't you see? The people who matter aren't waiting for your schedule to clear up. They're learning to live without you. You know what keeps me up at night? It's not the deals I didn't close. It's not the opportunities I missed. It's not even the money I could have made if I'd worked just a little harder. No, it's the small moments, the ordinary, everyday moments that I threw away like they were worthless. The tea parties. Sarah used to set up tea parties in her bedroom. Little plastic cups, stuffed animals arranged in a circle, a plate of cookies her mother had made. She would knock on my home office door and ask, "Daddy, do you want to come to my tea party?" I said no, every single time. "Daddy's busy, sweetheart, maybe later." Later never came. Those tea parties stopped when she was 7. She stopped asking, and I didn't even notice because I was too busy reviewing spreadsheets. I would give everything I have, every dollar, every building with my name on it, every award on my shelf, to go back and sit at one of those tea parties. Just one, the father-daughter dance. When Sarah was 16, her school had a father-daughter dance. She mentioned it once at dinner, just once, casually, testing the waters. I was on my phone responding to emails. I said something like, sounds nice. I never mentioned it again. I never put it on my calendar. I never asked her if she wanted to go. She went with her uncle instead, my brother. He stepped in because I couldn't be bothered. My brother walked her onto that dance floor. My brother held her hand. My brother got that memory. I got another successful quarter, the graduation speech. Sarah was valedictorian of her high school class, top of her class, brilliant, just like her mother. She gave a speech at graduation. I've never heard it. I was in Singapore closing a deal that felt urgent at the time. I don't even remember what the deal was for now. But I remember my wife calling me afterward, crying. She looked for you in the audience, David. She kept looking, and you weren't there. I told myself it was fine. I told myself I'd make it up to her. I told myself there would be other moments. There weren't. The wedding dress. A few years ago, before everything fell apart completely, Sarah sent me a photo. She was trying on wedding dresses. In the photo, she's standing in front of a mirror wearing white lace, looking beautiful. And she's alone. No mother. Her mom had passed by then. No father. Just her and a store employee holding up her train. She sent that photo to me. I think she was reaching out, testing one more time, seeing if maybe finally I would show up. I texted back, beautiful. Sorry, in a meeting. Talk soon. We never talked about it again. I didn't offer to come. I didn't ask about the dress. I didn't ask about any of it. And now I'll never see my daughter in her wedding dress. Not in person, not in photos, not ever. The words I never said. I don't think I ever told Sarah I was proud of her, not once. I assumed she knew. I assumed providing for her, the nice house, the good schools, the opportunities, was the same as saying it. It's not. Children don't remember square footage. They remember whether their father showed up, whether he said, I'm proud of you, whether he held them when they cried. I never held her when she cried. I was never there, and now it's too late to say any of it. The trip to Paris. When Sarah was 12, she became obsessed with Paris. She had pictures of the Eiffel Tower on her wall. She was learning French from library books. She begged us to take a family trip. I said, next summer when work calms down. Next summer, I said the same thing, and the summer after that, we never went. She went to Paris eventually, on her honeymoon with her husband without me. These are the things that haunt me, not the big failures, not the business mistakes. The small moments I was too busy to notice were slipping away. The tea parties, the dances, the speeches, the dresses, the words, the trips, gone, all of them gone, and I can never get them back. After that wedding invitation, something shifted in me. For a few months, I was just broken. I stopped going to the office. I stopped answering calls. I sat in my house surrounded by all the things my success had bought me, and I felt nothing but emptiness. But then slowly, something else started to emerge. Clarity. I was 80 years old. I had maybe 5 years left, maybe 10 if I was lucky. And I had a choice to make. I could spend whatever time I had left feeling sorry for myself, or I could try to change. I chose change. It started small. I wrote Sarah a letter, not an email. A handwritten letter like we used to do before everything became instant and disposable. I told her I was sorry, not sorry you feel that way, or sorry if I hurt you. None of that nonsense. A real apology. I told her I was wrong, that I had chosen work over her, over and over again. That I had failed as a father in every way that mattered, that I didn't deserve her forgiveness, but I was asking for it anyway. I told her I was proud of her, for the first time in her life in writing, clearly, and then I waited. She didn't respond, not for 6 months, but I kept writing, 1 letter a month, no demands, no expectations, just presence, the presence I should have offered 40 years ago. I also started changing how I lived. I sold the company, finally, something I should have done decades earlier. I gave most of the money away. Charities, scholarships, causes Sarah cared about. I kept enough to live on. That's all I needed. I started volunteering at a youth center, teaching business skills to teenagers who reminded me of myself at that age. Hungry, ambitious, convinced that success would make them happy. I tell them the truth now, what I wish someone had told me. I started calling old friends, people I had neglected for decades. Most of them didn't answer. A few did. We reconnected. It wasn't the same. Too much time had passed. But it was something. And I started being present, really present. When I'm with someone now, I'm with them. Not on my phone, not thinking about the next thing, just there. It's amazing how different life feels when you actually live it instead of just rushing through it. Last year, something incredible happened. Sarah called. For the first time in 4 years, my daughter called me. We talked for 20 minutes. It was awkward, stilted, painful, but it was a start. We're not healed. We may never be. 50 years of absence can't be fixed with letters and phone calls, but we're trying. And I'm happier now at 83, with less time ahead than behind, than I ever was at 50 when I thought I had all the time in the world. Because now I understand what matters. It was never the money. It was never the success. It was always the people. Now I need to talk directly to you. Yes, you, the one reading this right now, the one who's too busy to spend time with the people who matter, the one who keeps saying later and someday and when things calm down. I need to ask you something. If you died tomorrow, would you be satisfied with the life you've lived so far? Not, would people be impressed by your achievements? Not, would your LinkedIn profile look successful? Would you be satisfied? Would you feel like you lived fully, loved deeply, showed up for the people who needed you? Or would you die with the same regret I'm living with now? Be honest. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but my situation is different. I have to work this hard. I have responsibilities. I have bills. I have people depending on me. I thought the same thing. And you know what I learned? It's a lie. A lie we tell ourselves so we don't have to make hard choices. A lie that lets us feel virtuous about our neglect. A lie that sounds responsible but is actually cowardice. The truth is, you're choosing. Every day, you're choosing. When you skip your kid's game for a meeting, you're choosing. When you cancel dinner with your spouse for a deadline, you're choosing. When you say, I'll call mom this weekend, and then don't, you're choosing. And those choices add up. They add up into a life. And one day, you'll look back at all those choices and realize what you actually built. I built a $200 million company and a daughter who doesn't know me. Is that what you want? Let me paint you a picture. It's 30 years from now. You're my age. You've achieved everything you set out to achieve. You're at a holiday dinner, but you're alone. Your kids don't call anymore. They got tired of being put second. They built lives without you, just like you taught them to. Your spouse, if they stayed, is a stranger. You lived in the same house for decades, but never really saw each other. Your parents are gone, and you didn't visit enough while they were here. You were too busy. You're sitting in a nice house with nice things, surrounded by evidence of your success, and you're completely alone. Is that what you're working toward? Because that's where this path leads. I know. I'm living it. If I could go back and talk to my 30-year-old self, here's what I would say. Stop. Stop treating your calendar like it's more important than your family. Stop saying, I'll make time later. Later doesn't exist. Stop believing that your worth comes from your productivity. Stop checking your phone at dinner. Stop canceling plans with the people who love you. Stop thinking you're irreplaceable at work. You're not. They'll replace you in a week when you're gone. Stop sacrificing your health for your career. Stop postponing joy until someday. Stop waiting for permission to live. Start leaving work at a reasonable hour. The emails can wait. They always can. Start showing up at the recitals, the games, the ordinary Tuesday dinners. Start telling people how you feel. Say, I love you. Say, I'm proud of you. Say it now while they can still hear it. Start making memories instead of money. Start calling your parents every week, not when it's convenient, every week. Start taking the trips you dream about. Don't wait for retirement. Start saying no to obligations that drain you. Start saying yes to moments that matter. If you want to change careers, change now. Don't wait for the perfect moment. It doesn't exist. If you want to spend more time with your family, start today. Not next week, not after this project, today. If you've been meaning to apologize to someone, call them. Now, before it's too late. Before they're gone and the words die in your throat. If you've been putting off your dreams, stop. Write the book. Take the class. Start the business. Learn the instrument. Do it now. Not because you'll succeed. Maybe you won't. But because the trying is what makes life worth living. And the waiting is what kills it. Here's what I want you to do after you finish reading this. Put down your phone or close your laptop. Look around you. Who's there? Who's missing? Who should you call? And then do something about it. Don't just nod and think good advice, and then go back to your life exactly the same way. Change something. Today. One thing. Call your mom. Hug your kid. Leave work early. Cancel that meeting and take your spouse to dinner. Something. Because every day you wait, you're becoming more like me. And trust me, you don't want to end up like me. I'm 83 now. I've been trying to live differently for about 3 years. 3 years out of 83. 3 years, that's nothing, a blink, a fraction of a life mostly wasted. But you know what? These have been the best 3 years of my life. Not because they've been easy, they haven't. Reconnecting with Sarah has been painful. Facing what I did, what I failed to do, has been excruciating. Learning to live without the constant validation of work has been disorienting. But these 3 years have been real. For the first time in my life, I'm actually here, present, awake. I watch the sunrise now. I never did before, too busy. But now I sit on my porch with a cup of coffee and I watch the light change, and I think about how many sunrises I missed while I was answering emails in the dark. Thousands, tens of thousands, all gone. I have lunch with my brother now, every week. We talk about our childhood, our parents, the years we lost being too busy for each other. He's 79. Neither of us has much time left, but we're using what we have. Sarah and I are still finding our way. Last month, she invited me to meet her husband. It was awkward, painful at times, but I was there. I was finally there. I don't know if we'll ever have the relationship we should have had. Probably not. You can't rebuild 50 years of absence in a few conversations, but we're trying. And trying, I've learned, is everything. I would give anything to have those 50 years back, to have started living at 30 instead of 80, to have been there for the tea parties and the dances and the graduations, to have been a father. But I can't go back. None of us can. All I can do is tell you what I learned, so you don't have to learn it the way I did. The irony is, when you understand time is limited, you start to actually live. You stop wasting it. You stop postponing joy. You stop chasing things that don't matter. You start creating the life you want, right now, today. You have a choice right now, today. Keep living the way you're living. Keep chasing success. Keep telling yourself you'll make time for the people you love later. Keep climbing that ladder or wake up. Realize that later is a lie, that success is empty without love, that the people in your life won't wait forever. Realize that you're running out of time faster than you think. We all are. I spent 50 years learning what I could have understood in a moment if I'd been paying attention. Time is all you have, and you're spending it on things that don't matter. Stop. Just stop. Look at your life. Really look at it, not at your bank account or your job title or your list of achievements. Look at your relationships, your presence, your joy. Are you living, or are you just existing, waiting for a someday that will never come? Because someday is today. It always has been. The permission you're waiting for, it's granted. I'm giving it to you right now. You don't have to keep doing this. You don't have to sacrifice everything for success. You don't have to become like me. You can choose differently. Starting now. The clock is ticking. What are you going to do with your time? If this resonated with you, I hope you'll share it. Not for me. I don't need anything. But somewhere out there, someone is making the same mistakes I made. Someone is missing their kid's childhood right now. Someone is choosing work over love again and again, thinking they have time. Maybe they need to hear this. Maybe they need to wake up before it's too late. Subscribe if you want to hear more. I have other truths to share and not much time left to share them. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you're going to do differently. Tell me who you're going to call, what you're going to change. I read every comment. and at 83, I don't take a single one for granted. Your time is precious. Thank you for spending some of it with me. Now go live, really live, before you end up with nothing but regret and a story to tell.